The story from both sides. Narratives of conflict before truth is erased. Welcome to Before It's Gone. In the midst of any conflict, multiple narratives form, with each side presenting its own story. The conflict between Israel and Iran is no exception. To understand the full dimensions of these tensions, we must look at matters from both perspectives. So how does each side view the conflict? And what happens to truth before it's erased under the weight of propaganda and conflicting narratives? The Israeli narrative: existential threat and national security. From Israel's perspective, Iran is seen as the greatest threat to its security and existence in the region. This narrative is based on several key points. The nuclear program. Israel considers Iran's acquisition of nuclear weapons a red line, viewing it as a direct threat to its national security. Therefore, its efforts are aimed at preventing Iran from achieving this capability at any cost. Proxy support. Israel believes that Iran's support for groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas and Islamic Jihad in Gaza forms a ring of fire around its borders, posing a continuous threat that requires deterrence or preemption. Hostile statements. Israel points to statements by some Iranian officials calling for Israel's elimination, which reinforces its sense of an existential threat. Regional provocations. Israel views Iranian activities in Syria, Yemen, and Iraq as aiming to strengthen its influence at the expense of regional security and stability. This narrative focuses on self-defense, the need for deterrence, and proactive measures to protect the state from a growing threat. The Iranian narrative: self-defense and a regional role. From Iran's perspective, it presents itself as a regional power, seeking to protect its interests and security from Western dominance and Israeli aggression. This narrative revolves around the nuclear program. Iran asserts that its nuclear program is purely peaceful, aimed at generating energy and developing medicine, and that it has the sovereign right to possess nuclear technology for civilian purposes. It considers Western and Israeli pressures, attempts to hinder its progress. Resistance and ally support. Iran views its support for groups in the region as part of an axis of resistance against Western and Israeli dominance and a defense of oppressed peoples. Violation of sovereignty. Iran points to repeated Israeli airstrikes on targets inside Syria and even within Iran as violations of its sovereignty and security, requiring a response. Regional standing. Iran believes it has a historical and civilizational role in the region and seeks to restore its position as an independent regional power, free from external influence. This narrative focuses on sovereignty, resistance, and protecting its national interests in the face of what it perceives as external threats. The challenge of truth before it's erased. The challenge lies in the fact that each narrative is built on a set of facts and analyses that serve its own interests. As these narratives clash, it becomes very difficult to discern absolute truth. Propaganda and disinformation can blur the lines, fuel hatred, and prevent any chance for understanding. Therefore, it's essential to critically analyze both narratives and search for common ground before the possibility of a deeper understanding of the conflict is erased. Understanding conflicting perspectives is the first step toward moving beyond biased narratives. Which narrative do you find more convincing, and why? Share your thoughts in the comments. Until we meet in a new video, always remember, before it's gone,